Hey Frag fam, Corbin here again from Northwest Scent. I'm really excited to be bringing you guys this video today. We're talking about a first impressions on a fragrance that I have been anticipating ever since I heard its announcement. I like the original version of this fragrance, and this one is supposed to be a lighter, brighter take on it. So this should be a great one. We're gonna have to wait and see. If you're interested to hear about these first impressions, please stick around. But first, let's roll that intro. Alright, welcome back. So like I said in the intro, we're doing a first impressions on a brand new release. This fragrance is coming from the House of Creed. The fragrance we're talking about, it's this one right here, Viking Cologne. And as you can see, it is still wrapped in cellophane, brand new. I literally just opened up the box and the carrier just dropped it off. So I'm excited to get into this. I'm gonna remove the cellophane and I will be right back. Okay, so I got the bottle out of the box and here it is. And we're not gonna do a super in-depth look at it just because this is my first time seeing it. But one thing that I can say, and actually I do have the original Creed right here. So this one has a red label with a red lettering on the Creed logo. This one has an orange label, and then the lettering on the Creed label is actually silver, which is following the same trend as Aventus Cologne. Additionally, the juice on the original is a lot darker yellow. This one is a lot lighter. It's basically clear, just with a faint kind of yellow tint to it. Nothing too crazy. Everything else, aside from the caps, which again, silver cap for for Viking Cologne, red cap for the original Vikings. So those are the only differences I can really see. And as far as my batch, I have 21P01, or 21P01 I should say. So that is the first batch of Viking Cologne. Now I'm actually gonna be testing these on my skin, and I'm gonna start with the original Viking just because I'm familiar with it. I wanna remember exactly how it smells, and then we're gonna do the Viking Cologne right after. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna be starting with the original Viking. Of course, again, not a first impressions, but I really wanna do almost a comparison for this first impression. So just to get that in-depth look at the original, I'm gonna test it on my skin. One spray on my right wrist, and I can already smell that. I absolutely love this fragrance. One of my top 3 Creeds right now. It's got this amazing kind of mentholic, lightly rosy, but aromatic feel to it. It's got this prominent fresh spiciness to it as well. They're using pink pepper here in the top and then the mid notes. And man, yeah, it smells so good. This is a really good fragrance, but to me, Viking, the original one, is actually pretty fresh. So I'm surprised at how they're gonna take this and make it even fresher. But we're gonna have to wait and see. So here we go, Viking Cologne. Okay, so here we go. Whoop, I'm gonna wait a second. Now I haven't looked at the notes for this one, by the way, so if I can pick stuff out, I'll try and talk about it, but I do not know the notes off the top of my head. Okay, so this is actually striking me a lot more different than I was expecting. With Aventus, the original, and then Aventus Cologne, it's pretty easy to get that DNA deep down, even though they do separate themselves quite a bit. You get that Aventus DNA in Aventus Cologne. To me, this one is coming across aromatic and citrusy, but I'm not really getting that mentholic feel that I get with this one, with the original. And then also that kind of like dark rosiness that you get from it. Not like a jammy, heavy rose, but it's kind of this lighter, I would say masculine rose. I'm not really detecting that from Aventus Cologne quite as much. I'm getting almost like this prominent woodiness in a sense. It's coming across, yeah, I would say still aromatic, so I'm sure there's like lavender in here or something. There's definitely a lot of citruses. This one is coming across brighter to me, but yeah, I'm getting almost like this woodiness in a way, and it's coming across maybe a little bit peppery, which would lead me to believe maybe cedar. And as it's sitting here, I'm actually getting a little bit of this kind of sweet, fruity quality in a way. It's really hard for me to pinpoint. I can say that there is kind of a faint icy feeling coming from this, but not like a true mint note. Like in the original Viking, there was I think they called it a spicy mint or a sweet mint or something like that. This one, again, I'm kind of getting an icy feeling, but it's a little bit fruitier and softer than that. So that would lead me to believe maybe like geranium or something along those lines. And to me, there's a lot of citruses, like I said, popping out. I'm almost getting like a lemon note in a way. For some reason, I'm just kind of envisioning lemon here. So I'm assuming that's one of the citruses they're using here. And there's also, like I said, this kind of sweet fruitiness. I don't really know what to attribute that to. So I'm getting a little bit more of a youthful take on the DNA. Viking, it is easy to wear, but it does have this maturity to it as well. It doesn't strike you as something that like a teenager would like to wear. And while I'm not saying that this smells like something that a teenager would like to wear, I could totally see people younger people reaching for the Viking Cologne flanker a lot more easily because yeah, it's just lighter, brighter, doesn't quite have this mature quality to it, and it's sweeter at the same time. Okay, so I was actually sitting here for a minute because I was getting a reminder of something smelling Viking Cologne here, and I couldn't think of what it was. I wanted to try and figure out what the fragrance was. I don't know why, but the sweetness here is kind of reminding me of the Y line, like, you know, Y Live, Y Eau de Toilette, even Y Eau Fresh. They all kind of have that unique sweetness to them. I'm getting a faint touch of that style of sweetness, but like it doesn't smell anything like those as a whole. I'm just saying that one sweet aspect of Viking Cologne is kind of reminding me of the Y line. Definitely not as sweet as those fragrances, but it is a noticeable sweetness. And yeah, it's staying very bright and citrusy, still a little bit kind of peppery, woody, and definitely like an aromatic feeling going on. So this is honestly really pleasing. I can't say right now which one I like more because these are honestly a lot more different than I was expecting. If you're looking for something that is literally just the Viking DNA freshened up a little bit, this is not the fragrance. This one, they've really changed around the DNA quite a bit. It still kind of falls in that same camp as, you know, an aromatic citrusy fragrance, but this one, like I said, it's just a more youthful take on it in my opinion. Okay, so I'm actually gonna wait a little bit, maybe an hour or so. I wanna let the Viking Cologne dry down so I can pick out those mid notes and that base notes and see what the dry down's all about. So I'm gonna cut the camera here and I will be right back. Okay, so I've waited about an hour from the last clip that you guys just watched, and what I can say is this thing hasn't quite developed as much as I was expecting, although I'm not mad about that because I absolutely love the opening here. This fragrance is really pleasant. What I can say is the lemon that I was kind of detecting from the opening is still very dominant, although there is kind of this orangey smell that I started picking up on. Again, the lemon to my nose is more dominant here. I'm still kind of getting this fresh spiciness, which I would attribute to pink pepper because it's coming across maybe a little bit creamy. There's still this kind of peppery woodiness, which strikes me as cedar, but there is kind of this creaminess in here as well, so I guess it could maybe be coming from sandalwood as well. And there's still that kind of sweet fruitiness, which, like, I was comparing it kind of to the Y line. Again, I'm not saying it smells the exact same, but I'm kind of getting that style of sweetness, which in that line it's attributed to sage, so maybe there's like a sage note in here kind of giving me that. And you know, this thing is honestly just really pleasant. Again, I'll reiterate this does smell like a youthful version of the original. If you're looking for something with the same exact smell, but just with a heightened freshness, this isn't it. But I was able to start seeing more of that similarity between Viking Cologne and the original Viking when it started drying down here a little bit. So they do kind of smell like flankers, but this one is definitely more of a departure from Viking than Aventus Cologne was from the original Aventus. Even though I've been sitting here for a little while and, you know, I've been smelling both of them, it's still really hard for me to say which one is my favorite. They're both very pleasant, and definitely Viking Cologne I would say is the more mass appealing and the easier to wear version of the two. But I'm into a little bit more of complex stuff, and I do like my aromatic fougères, which the original Viking kind of hints at that a little bit more. Again though, it's really hard for me to say which one I prefer this time. They are both really pleasant though to my nose. Well, there you guys go. That was my first impressions of the new fragrance from Creed, Viking Cologne. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, or if you found it helpful or useful, I would really appreciate dropping a like just to show your support, and then that way more people can see my videos on YouTube. Additionally, if you want to write a comment, maybe just letting me know your thoughts, as well as some new video ideas or topics, that would be great too. And since you're down there doing all that stuff, if you've not already, if you could hit the subscribe button and then the bell notification, that would be amazing. That way you stay up to date on new videos whenever they get released going forward. But with all that out of the way, that's all I really have for you guys today. So I hope you have a good one. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and smell great.